Hey, this is Russell. I'm back again with today's episode. If you've missed the last couple episodes, I'm doing a bit of a close commentary because I didn't record my voice live. I was speaking to myself live, but you know, I was literally speaking to myself because I didn't record it. So, yeah, we're in a phase where we've stopped building cities. We're just growing our cities now, building stuff and things in all our cities. And look at that beautiful, beautiful capital city. 25 science, 9 gold, lots of tiles being worked. And we have workers going through and improving all the different tiles in the small Mayan empire that we have going for us. Queuing up some buildings, it looks like. We got a granary here, a coliseum here. Don't ask what I'm doing. Uh, is there a method to this madness? Not much. Um, I prioritize commerce buildings overall, and then aqueducts if the city is getting close to 6 pop or is at 6 pop, and that's about it. Then I just start building everything else. Copernicus's observatory is now being queued up, and Palenque. The reason why I chose Palenque is because I scrolled through the different cities, and it doubles the scientific research in the city where it's built. As you can see, I was probably explaining that live at this point, and yeah, Palenque has an overall better output scientifically, if that's a word, than whatchamacallit. This is the other one to rebuild. Obsolete military units can be upgraded at half price, which is pretty good. We'll see how that comes into play later. Um, Talking about maybe building the second double output place here in the capital. I'm still trying to decide where I'm gonna put it. So just talking to people, probably, and yeah, I don't know what to say at this point. We're going to be pressing the end turn button a lot, I believe, at this point in the game. So we finished astronomy, and now we're going to be going for the gravity place. Already thinking about the next tech tree and what route we're going to go on there. I always go Hoover Dam whenever I'm in the next era in the industrial age because that is like the best wonder in the game, in my opinion. Really, really love Hoover Dam. Um, and just the fact that you get like a hydro facility, which doesn't cause pollution in like all of your cities, is like massive. You get it like even in the cities that you normally can't build it in. Like you normally have to be like next to like a river or something to build it, but you get to like have it anyways, even if you're not like right next to a river. So it's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. In the meantime, queuing up a harbor there. Probably what I should have queued up in the first place in that city. Um, but yeah. And just looking around. And ooh, I was pretty proud of that. I stole a tile from the French and cut off their empire basically. And there we go. We built the Forbidden Palace. It has been built. And it's a thing. And it's a thing in a place that is going to do much better than where it was before. And as soon as we're done with this, you'll see our gold income shoots up a lot because no more corruption in that area. But more importantly than our gold income, our science is going to be boosted an absolute ton because of that. Very, very efficient place to, in my opinion at least, to put the Forbidden Palace. It also means that if we were to conquer the territories of Mongolia, that because we have the Forbidden Palace there, places like Tabriz and Karakorum are going to be very, very good cities for us. Assuming we go to war with them. Of course, a warlike game might not even be necessary if we're able to defend ourselves in the very least and have enough of a military to deter our enemies. we should be able to still continue diving ahead with this tech lead, theoretically. Assuming that people on the other continent aren't neck and neck with us. Of course, we have yet to discover the other continent. We could be queuing up the Great Lighthouse. We could be queuing up the Sistine Chapel. Those two wonders, Sistine Chapel maybe would have been useful, but they aren't really something I'm too interested in. So I end up churning out a few workers because I actually did get rid of a couple of my workers from running out of money and letting them get like disbanded automatically and all of that because of that. And so there's nothing else for that city to do. It grows so fast that like if I was to build a worker, like just a few turns later, there would be another worker. So may as well, you know. And yeah, very good cities we've got going for us. Again, really happy that we cut off the that half of the French Empire by expanding the borders. And that's kind of what you want to do with the borders. You want to disrupt, you want to steal resources. You can actually steal cities too if you have enough cultural pressure on a city, but that's pretty rare, and usually it won't happen much very often, and it'll piss off the civ that you steal the city from. So if you're going for a diplomatic victory, it might not be the best route, but it's a thing that can be done. It's a thing that can be done. And yeah, looking pretty good on this continent. Still thinking about what to do. I see marketplace hasn't been built there, so I queue that up immediately. Libraries being built. I probably should start building libraries in a lot of my places to keep that tech advantage, but I don't really feel pressured to build libraries too much at this point in time. And yeah, just looking around, seeing what opportunities there are. I do have gunpowder hooked up. Not gunpowder. What is it in this game? I think it's like sulfur, not gunpowder or something like that. Whatever. But because I have access to that, I can queue up musketmen at any time because I've either researched the tech or I'm in the process of researching the tech, but I think I've already researched it. I have pretty much everything I need hooked up too. Like this has been a very good game in terms of location and the cities we've been able to grab. We aren't lacking for luxuries or anything of that regard. Something that always throws me off. I'm thinking about it now. In the list of luxuries, you don't see a whale. I'm so used to whales being a luxury because of the fact that they are a luxury in Civ 5. But you see, now I'm upgrading these units. I've upgraded a couple of them to the warrior. It's only 45 gold. It's hugely discounted from what it would normally be, simply because we have the amazing Leonardo's Workshop. And I'm looking here, I see that there's like a ton of units still available. I have enough units available so I could probably garrison every single one of my cities, and that number's only going to grow up as my go up. Yeah, that's right. As my cities grow. I was missing mixing grow and go. So yeah. Bit of a yawn there. Sorry about that. And cool stuff. We are looking very good, if I do say so for myself. Looking at what route we will probably be taking when we go to industrial era again. Just thinking about it now, because it's not really that far off. We can afford to skip a few of the techs in the medieval era. Like for example, there's no need to go for the military academy tech because we never got a general in the first place. So there's no real need to build military academies. We don't have horses either, so there's no need to build like cavalry from the military academy. So unless we wanted to like trade for There's what the tech is, military tradition. There's no need to go for military tradition. There's no need to go for what else in the tech tree? I can't really see the tech tree at the moment. Navigation, because we don't really care about that wonder. There's a lot of things we can end up skipping if we wanted to, and I don't see why we shouldn't skip it. I mean, at the end of the day, you can trade like most of those techs for like one industrial era tech in the future to a civ that's far behind, or just research those techs very, very quickly after you've already gotten like the wonder techs that you want to get in the next era. So yeah. So to explain something, and I think this is how it works. Don't quote me on anything I say when it comes to like game advice. All of those techs like in that tech tree that have like that like grade like crossed off circle like or whatever on the icon or on the side of them, all of those techs are the techs you don't have to get to go to the next era. Any other tech you do have to get. Like those techs are like a dead end, in other words. On the tech tree. Man, I'm yawning again. So I think this will be like the last voiceover I'll do, and then I'll do the rest of them tomorrow. Anyways, whatever. That has nothing to do with this. What am I gonna queue here? Library? Good choice, Russell. Good choice. And yeah, workers are doing their thing on automate. Again, if I didn't automate them, this game would take forever. And yeah, that wouldn't be good content if I just sat there staring at a worker microing it the whole time. Maybe it would be. Maybe that's the kind of content people are looking for. I'm really tempted by banking, and I'm really tempted by JSBox Cathedral. So I'm thinking wham wham. And musketmen are a thing. Granary is a thing. People love me is a thing. A dome is a thing. That was what I was going for. Really, really like the look of the dome on top of the palette that's on the bottom. Cathedral. Eventually, I do think either this episode or next episode, early next episode or later this episode, I start queuing up musketmen for defensive units, because like I said earlier, I looked at the unit cap earlier and saw I had it. So there's no point in not having some dudes queued up, you know? Sounds good. Javelins. I like how it like I'm like in this era where I can build musketmen and it's still asking me if I want to build javelins. Pretty funny. Um I don't know how good the javelin throwers are. Like I obviously didn't use them this game. Um I mean they don't require any resources, so there's that to consider. So I guess they're just a better version of, I don't want to say anything. I have no clue what their stats even are. Um, but they exist. See, musketeers are like something you can utilize much more because you're going to build musketmen usually anyways, because that's your first gunpowder unit. So musketeers being a substitute, you know, it's a very good substitute. And yeah, ain't much to say at the moment. Looking at the text, oh, the grayed out circle on them, yeah. So any of those texts I don't have to go for. So music theory, technically I didn't have to go for it, but I like the idea of the wonder. Just looking, seeing what's available. Not interested in anything really much. Always gotta check though. You know. look at stuff like courthouse. Oh, that should have been built a long time ago. Or actually, that's the city where the Forbidden Palace is, huh? Okay, never mind. It's just Russell being Russell. What do we got here? Library was produced. I'd probably go for cathedral. Let's see what I'm gonna go for though. I don't know why I'm thinking about walls. Musketmen. Okay. That's when I start queuing up the musketmen, I guess. University. Never mind. Going for a coliseum. I should probably build a library here. Nope, I went for a coliseum. What are you doing, Russell? Yeah, well. Physics. Great library. I think we saw that was cute. No, that was in Alexandria. So we didn't know that was on the way. I don't know how I feel about them getting Great Library. I mean, obviously I never got the Great Library tech, so I wasn't interested in getting it. I find it very interesting they took so long to get the Great Library that I probably could have gotten the Great Library. The only thing is, if I don't know anyone who has text that'll be given to me for free for building it, I don't know why I needed to build it. What other bonuses do Great Libraries give you though? Do they have the bonus of giving you a library in every city? I'm not sure if they do or not. If they did, that would be like pretty powerful. If not, and if it's only just like the 2 free texts that you get, then yeah, I can live without that easily. I never really go for the Great Library just because I think like I'm conditioned in Civ 5 and games like that like since everyone goes for the Great Library, it's best not to go for it. Looks like the French have gone up in age. Yeah, that's why I never go for the Great Library, because like at least in Civ 5, I mean obviously they got it much later in this game, so I probably could have gone for it. But in Civ 5, my brain is like conditioned to think like Great Library equals competition. Much better to go for the guaranteed win a wonder somewhere else than go for the Great Library. Or on even the harder difficulties, better not to go for a wonder at all. Better to get settlers out. Got our first musket Mayan. And we're looking at getting some trees, maybe? I think we got trees. I don't remember, but I think we chose the trees. Come on, choose the trees. I think I ended up choosing the trees because I was indecisive on what I wanted the sides to be. Yeah. But I do figure out the sides later. What do we got here? Uni? That would be the next logical step. Courthouse. We need more. No, library's fine. I was thinking maybe a cathedral because it's on the border, but library's fine. Who am I to say? Oh, look at that. I'm actually going back in there to reconsider my options. Never mind. I bailed out. It's interesting going back and watching and seeing myself like think about like these bonuses, but then not quite remembering all of those thoughts I was having. Interesting. Fascinating. And what do we got here? Magnetism is what we're going for next, it's suggesting. Actually, I really like getting a Smith's Trading Company. I remember that. What's this? Movement rate of all increased by 1. It's pretty useless. At least in this style of game, in my opinion. it is kind of cool to stack up things like that with the Great Library and stuff like that. 8 unhappy citizens in one city reduced. See, that one's not really too useful because it's kind of like if you have to use the happiness slider anyways for like cities, other cities, then there's no point in like having like the whole -8 in that one city. Or at least in my opinion. It's kind of a more useless wonder, in my opinion. Again, I emphasize in my opinion because I am not the ultimate authority on these things. Saltpeter, is that what it's called? I thought I saw it just now when I opened up the tech right there. Is that what the resource is called? Now I'm curious. This is going to be like my last voice recording for the evening, and then I'll record the voice for like episodes 8, 9, and 10 early tomorrow probably. But like, I might just hop in the game after like I record my voice just now and like see, mouse over it and see what the resource is called. So yeah, fortifying you. And got some good military queued up. See, I can't build anything but musketmen or a Sistine Chapel. And my thoughts are musketmen because I have lots of unit cap anyways. You never know, and it might just be the deterrent we need to make sure no one attacks us right now. I wasn't too worried about people attacking us because we never really gave reason for people to attack us. Libraries being built. Coelho, Bonampak, Palenque. We've garrisons now. And what is the bonus for like having the unit garrison in the city? And I think there is one. Trying to remember what it is. It's either like you get like an extra content face or you get an extra happy face or either or. And I'm not sure if that stacks when you have multiple units in like a city or whether it's just one. I'm really considering the bank there, even though it's a border city. Nope, cathedral. Good call, Russell. Good call. Most advanced nations of the world. And at this point, I know I'm the most advanced. The others are Russian is the one right behind us, which I find interesting because the Russians were my main competitor in the other game too, in the French game. It's like they've come back reincarnated to fight me again. Other than that, the French have been carried over. Not sure. I don't think anyone else has been carried over from the last game. Maybe the Portuguese? It's been too long, so it's hard for me to remember. But yeah, interesting to see the list of civilizations again, and the fact that we're not to the person who's closest to catching up to us is the Russians. Now, what's a little bit deceptive about that is I believe, again, never quote me on these things, but I believe it's like based on number of texts. A lot of the texts that we've left behind are very easy to grab texts. Like things like monarchy and library and stuff like that. So in reality, we're actually pretty far ahead. Because a lot of the texts that are missing are, trash texts that we don't need. I'm trying to figure out where their cities are. I've kind of concluded that at least one of those two black dots, the one that's like next to all those firs, is like a city. And I'm speculating maybe that one's also a city, but probably not. For a fact, though, that's my third yawn this session. For a fact, though, that one next to the firs is definitely a city, or else there wouldn't be so much border border push between that city and Tikal and stuff like that. And other than that, it's pretty quiet session, at least for now. So yeah, that's about it for the end of this episode. Like, comment, favorite, subscribe if you guys want to see more, and we'll do a few more post commentaries and we'll be all caught up. Thank you guys for watching. God bless.